Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Dagnan. Wilkes-Barre Township Police were on the scene of a home on Nicholson Street for hours Wednesday night. The body of 39-year-old Cindy Lou Ashton was found inside her apartment there. Police discovered the woman while conducting a welfare check at 134 Nicholson Street shortly before 6 o'clock. She was found in a bathroom, and after an autopsy this afternoon, it was determined she died of multiple stab wounds. The manner of her death? Homicide. Authorities believe she was killed sometime Tuesday evening. Police believe it was an isolated incident. A man from Dallas told authorities he was making a political statement when he used a picture of the bare bottom of a child to make a statement about President Trump on social media. 46-year-old Peter Freschetti now faces child pornography charges. Luzerne County detectives received a tip last month and traced the image to the man's home. He was released on bail. Wilkes-Barre police were called to the Toys R Us store on Kidder Street last night. When they arrived, an employee told them a man came in and asked the employee to watch his child. The man then left the store and never returned. The child was taken into protective custody, and Luzerne County Children and Youth were contacted. The investigation is ongoing. A Schuylkill Haven woman was arraigned and charged with third-degree murder for the death of an infant stemming from an incident in June of 2017. After nearly a year-long investigation, 35-year-old Amanda Vernitsky was taken into custody accused of killing a 5-month-old boy while she was babysitting at her home in Schuylkill Haven. Vernitsky initially told police that the baby had fallen on the floor and became unresponsive. An autopsy concluded that the infant died from severe trauma to the head that could not have happened from a fall. Authorities said the arrest took so long because they were waiting on test results. Vernitsky was arraigned Wednesday and released without having to post bail. After attempting to use a stolen credit card at a department store, a Hanover Township woman was arrested and also found to be in possession of illegal drugs. 28-year-old Tricia Savage tried to buy the merchandise with a stolen card at Kohl's Tuesday morning. Authorities took her into custody and found her with alleged heroin, hypodermic needles, and 2 other suspected stolen credit cards. She also had an outstanding warrant. She faces charges of theft, access device fraud, and possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. A sentencing date has been set for a Wilkes-Barre Township man who pled guilty to stealing valuables from the mail. 37-year-old Joseph Stefanski admitted to stealing mail while he was working for a trucking company that transported mail between post offices. The thefts took place between December 2014 and February 2015. He stole between $6,000 and $15,000 worth of merchandise from the mail. Stefanski is scheduled to be sentenced July 25th. As we told you yesterday, a number of fire departments battled a large brush fire in Hazel Township. Officials now say that fire burned nearly 20 acres near Eagle Rock in Hazel Township. Firefighters from the Bureau of Forestry, along with Harwood, Shepton, Oneida, Nuremberg, Weston, McAdoo, Beaver Meadows, Freeland, Valley Regional, and Sugarloaf fire companies, all assisting Hazel Township fire and rescue crews. The cause of that fire is under investigation, and at no time did the fire jeopardize any homes. Officials say about 12 airdrops occurred thanks to an air tanker that had been stationed at the Hazleton Airport. Coming up on WYLN News, emergency communications across the state are getting a closer look. Plus, money coming to shore up Solomon Creek. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Some heavy rain and maybe even some rumbles of thunder in some areas that will continue overnight, the low 65. It looks like some clouds and scattered thunderstorms for tomorrow, the high 82. Saturday, a cloudy day with a high of 71. We'll be right back.
you in good hands? Call Gary McNeilis of Allstate Insurance for all your insurance needs. The McNeilis Agency has 2 locations to conveniently serve you, 1092 North Church Street in Hazel Township and Hometown Village Square in Hometown. Their quality, service-oriented agency will make sure you get the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Call in Hazel Township at 570-454-1981 or in Hometown at 570-668-5133.
Are you in good hands?
For a decade, Schuylkill County had no property tax increases, and all was good. Then serial tax increaser George Helkovich came along, and the smiles quickly disappeared. Commissioner Helkovich raised property taxes 3 times in 6 years. Even worse, Helkovich used money from your property taxes to give himself a pay raise. Dan Muser's a fiscal conservative and reformer with a plan to eliminate all school property taxes. Dan Muser, he's on our side.
I'm Dan Muser, and I approve this message.
Pennsylvania is a great state filled with good, hardworking people looking to get ahead. But Tom Wolf wants to raise taxes and take more of your paycheck. I'm Scott Wagner. I sign hundreds of paychecks each week. I see firsthand how much state government takes. I'm blunt, outspoken, and determined. I'm a garbage man. You won't always agree with me, but know this. I'm on a mission to protect your paycheck and cut your taxes, and I will always put you first.
State Auditor General Eugene DePasquale today said he will soon begin an audit of the recently awarded deal to replace the unreliable and ineffective statewide radio system that failed Pennsylvania State Police and first responders over the past 20 years. The audit will cover the contracting process from start to finish, focusing on what led up to and went into the 2016 request for proposals to replace the statewide network, compliance with procurement procedures, and current status of the contract. He says if changes are recommended, he will push to reopen the contract. The Auditor General also pointed to the more than $800 million statewide radio system, which was unreliable, ineffective, and failed miserably during the manhunt for Eric Freen. The city of Hazleton planning on upgrading traffic lights and pavement markings on a busy stretch of road. City Council authorizing the mayor to seek approval from PennDOT for the improvements on Diamond Avenue and Seibert Street. The city will secure around $60,000 of grant money from PennDOT's automated red light enforcement project to pay for the upgrades. Plans are to replace controller equipment and signal heads for vehicles and pedestrians. Bids for the project will be accepted until May 11th. Work is expected to be completed by the end of the summer. The Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Director, Secretary Dennis Davin, joined with other state and local officials today in Wilkes-Barre. They announced an additional $1.4 million in additional funding for flood protection at Solomon Creek. The money comes from a community development block grant program in the form of a disaster recovery grant. The total available funding now over $10 million. Public bids for the project will be opened on Friday at City Hall in Wilkes-Barre. As it stands right now, the city of Wilkes-Barre has a good handle on its finances for the first part of 2018. According to monthly reports, just about every category of accumulating expenses, including overtime and police arbitration, which were considerably over budget last year, were at or below 25% of the annual budgeted amounts as of March 31st. The city spent just over $10,000 on police labor relations in the first quarter, which accounts for just over 20% of the $50,000 budgeted. Also, the report showed that overtime was a bit high for firefighters so far this year, with 35% of the $50,000 budgeted having been spent. That's due to 2 firefighters that recently retired. Coming up on Wilkes-Barre City's News Choice, 2 events on the way to benefit the Domestic Violence Center of Luzerne and Carbon counties in Community and You, plus celebrating the National Day of Prayer. But first, let's take a look at today's winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. Stay with us.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
It's a new day in Pennsylvania, and there's a sign of hope. A sign families are saying no more to the high taxes that sent our jobs and children away. A sign of trust in a successful businessman, dedicated father, and American patriot. A sign families are supporting a conservative outsider instead of the backroom politician's hand-picked candidate. Above all, a sign. Tomorrow will be better than today.
Strong families and strong values are what make Pennsylvania great. My mother was strong, and she raised me with Pennsylvania values like hard work and integrity.
Republican John Schrin running for Congress to fight for our conservative values.
And I'll stand with the president to drain the swamp, secure our borders, and fight for the forgotten families of this country.
Strong borders, strong families, strong values. John Schrin for Congress.
I'm John Schrin, and I approve this message.
Dagnan, and today we're going to talk about some benefits that are going to help out the folks at the domestic violence centers of Luzerne and Carbon counties. With me, we're going to start things off with Sherry Castrine, and also joining Sherry is Tammy Rogers. But Sherry, you have all the fun stuff.
I do.
What's going on?
I get to talk about all the events. So our first event is this Friday night. It is a benefit at Dano's Pub. It's Friday, May 4th at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Dano's Pub on 309 in Drums. It's going to be a benefit for our organization. They are sponsoring it. It is a $15 donation at the door, and it'll include food, music, 50-50, raffle baskets, or tricky trays as we call them, and music. It's going to be a wonderful night out to benefit our organization.
And this is just because the folks at Dano's decided that you're a lovely lady.
No. Dano's Pub is amazing, and they want to give back to our organization.
Nice.
So they're phenomenal people.
Well, let's get to know a little bit about the organization. Hi, Tammy.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about how this whole thing works.
Okay. The Domestic Violence Service Center provides emergency and supportive services to victims of domestic violence. The thing of it is that a domestic violence incident happens every 9 seconds in the United States. So we provide services to victims who might need counseling, might need a shelter, and basically the money is going to go back to the shelter so that we can help the people that are basically fleeing for their lives.
And the organization is Luzerne and Carbon counties.
Yeah, we provide services to both counties.
So you're based in Wilkes-Barre?
We have offices in both counties.
So if someone needed to get a hold of you?
We have an 800 number. Our phone number is 1-800-424-5600, and we also have another number. It's 1-570-823-7312. So they call us anytime. There's always somebody there to be able to talk to whoever it is that would call.
Well, that was going to be my next question. The phones are 24 hours a day?
24/7. There's always a counselor advocate there. You're not going to call and get a answering service or anything. You're actually going to get to talk to a counselor advocate.
Well, we'll have to get those numbers. We've had them on the screen, of course, but we'll have to get those numbers from you again.
Sure.
But let's go back to the other stuff with Sherry. Sherry takes us to fun and more fun.
I do.
With golf.
I do. So first of all, we can dust those golf clubs off because the weather has broken, finally.
Yes.
So everybody should have spring fever and want to golf. So our golf tournament is Friday, May 11th. It's at the Blue Ridge Golf Course in Mountaintop. They're amazing people. Mr. Barletta has been phenomenal working with us. And we have a luncheon at noon and registration. Again, we'll have more raffle baskets, and we have some great gifts. One gift, the one raffle prize is a vacation to Myrtle Beach and or Hilton Head, donated to us. So we have a lot of giveaways, but shotguns start at 1 o'clock. and then after event, cocktails and dinner. So it's going to be a wonderful event.
Now, does anybody have to pre-register for this? Can we check the weather and see what it's going to look like and then decide to go? Or
absolutely, we are accepting registration until next week.
Oh,
we do
okay.
have teams registered, and it does not have to be a foursome. If somebody is looking to golf and there's some openings, we can put them with another team and absolutely fill up a foursome.
That sounds.
So if somebody gets up in the morning and says, "I want to come," come see us.
That sounds like it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Tammy, when we're talking about the organization, you were telling us where the money goes. And I think when we think about the domestic violence that is prevalent throughout the country, we think of women, but you also have men and children that you're dealing with as well?
Oh, absolutely. We can provide services to both men and women, and a lot of times the women will bring their children to the shelter. We can't provide the shelter, the men to stay at the shelter, but we can, absolutely find them a place to stay if they are in need of, an emergency place. We advocate with a lot of different agencies to be able to help with that.
And the reason I say that is when we talk, Sherry, about the whole idea of the golfing, a lot of times we think more of men taking part in the golfing, and sometimes we think, well, why would they? But they can also be affected by domestic violence as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you have any kind of statistics, Tammy, as far as we're new into 2018, but I'm sure that you've had right on the spot. How do you like that?
Yeah, I know. Right now, I don't have any statistics for 2018. However, Luzerne County ranks number 5 as far as the most homicides in the state of Pennsylvania due to domestic violence.
So, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I think that when you go to these events, they'll have a lot of opportunity to get more information?
Absolutely. Well, Terry Renninger, who is one of our biggest advocate when it comes to going out and speaking about domestic violence, his daughter, Rebecca, was killed by her husband back in 2009. And so he goes out and he, always talks, and he'll be speaking more than likely at our golf tournament. And he has a few words, and, his story always hits home with people.
Yes,
so.
Especially when it's a familiar face that everybody knows. So Sherry, get everybody out to that golf tournament.
Absolutely. Our golf tournament is our biggest event for the spring.
The 11th annual.
The 11th annual, absolutely. We have some great prizes for closest to the pin, a custom-made driver.
Where and when?
Next Friday, May 11th, 12 o'clock registration at Blue Ridge Golf Course in Mountaintop.
I just want everybody to get that down on their calendars.
Absolutely. Get it on there. Play
and
hooky.
and if you're a business or you're just an individual, if you want to be a whole sponsor, please make sure that you get in touch with us, because we'll take any donation.
Oh, that's even better. Well, two charming ladies, thank you very much.
So much.
And we're keeping our fingers crossed that spring stays.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
No snow on the golf course.
No.
And we certainly hope that you will join us again soon on Community and You.
Northeast Pennsylvania. Scenic beauty, close-knit communities. We're neighbors helping neighbors. Lehigh Valley Health Network is bringing you leading-edge cancer treatment that's close to home, robotic surgery for quicker recoveries, world-class heart care, and access to top specialists. All from Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton and our 15 community locations. Neighbors caring for Greater Hazleton and beyond. The Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Chur's Auto Sales has been serving the area with quality vehicles since 1954. Chur's Auto Sales is known as your friendly dealer and now in their 4th generation, and voted the best used car dealer by the readers of Standard Speaker Choice Awards. John Chur would like to thank everyone that voted for his business. When you need a quality pre-owned vehicle, choose from a large selection at Chur's 570-454-7229.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
A debate for Republican candidates in the 8th Congressional District is set for tonight on the campus of the University of Scranton. The three Republicans, John Schrinn, Robert Kunigal, and Joe Peters, are vying for the chance to face Democratic incumbent Matt Cartwright in the fall. They'll be taking the stage at 7 in the DeNaples Center, again on the campus of the University of Scranton. The primary is May 15th. Today, the United States celebrates its National Day of Prayer. Freedom Park brought together the community here in Hazleton to join in the nation in prayer. WYLN's Julia Wiegand has more.
Bless America, my home sweet home.
This year, May 3rd marks the National Day of Prayer across all 50 states. The city of Hazleton gathered at Freedom Park on the corner of Diamond Avenue and Church Street to pray for their city, nation, their political leaders, and authoritative figures. At least 7 local pastors led the prayers for our nation.
Obviously, it's something that's done across the country, and a lot of times at the same hour of the day, so it's really neat to have the whole country praying for our country.
Different faces prayed to one God in one voice, lifting a single prayer request: unity in America. This year's theme brought to light Ephesians 4:3. For those who may not know, the passage reads, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
The way I like to explain it to people is there's a connection vertically between us and God, but there's also a horizontal connection between me and my neighbor. And as long as that's all working, that's a great thing.
Today was the 30th annual observance since President Ronald Reagan signed the amend law designating the first Thursday of May as a day of national prayer. It's also the 67th observance since the day was first created in 1952 by a joint resolution of Congress and signed into law by President Harry S. Truman.
So we had an awesome day. Of course, God provided really good weather, but hopefully He heard our voice, and that the things that we asked Him for, as far as blessing upon the city, upon our nation, upon the lives of individuals, that God will come true and answer all those things. He's a prayer answering God.
More information on our nation's Day of Prayer can be found on its website, www.nationaldayofprayer.org. Reporting from Hazleton for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
And stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN News.
For 4 generations, All-American Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has been treating their customers like family. Stop in to get the lowest financing options and best service around. Whether you're in need of a Ram pickup or have an active family lifestyle or simply want to show off your fun, adventurous side, All-American Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram of Tamaqua has a wide variety of inventory to choose from. Stop in for the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event and the Jeep Celebration Event. On Saturday, May 12th at 7:30 p.m., the Wiltsey Center presents Beatlemania Now. Join the crowd and twist and shout to the music of the world's greatest rock band. Beatlemania Now successfully recaptures the mood and frantic intensity of that bygone era, skillfully and effectively recreating the sights and sounds that were and still are the Beatles. 700 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton at the historic castle. Tickets are $27 in advance, $30 at the door. On sale now at eventbrite.com, at Boscov's at the Laurel Mall, and at the door.
At the Joyce Insurance Group, we offer insurance tailored to your needs. We protect what matters most to you.
We've been serving the needs of thousands of clients throughout Northeast Pennsylvania since 1955.
Our professional agents are dedicated to providing you with a great insurance experience.
With 62 years in business, our clients are the reason that we care the most.
Ask any of our 5,000 plus satisfied customers, and they'll tell you the right choice is Joyce.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Weather on WYLN TV 35 is brought to you by State Representative Tara Toohill. Paid for by the committee to elect Tara Toohill.